I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, September the 19th, brought to you in part by Livestock Risk Services. That's Dakota Moss. They are your LRP specialists. You can't do it today. You can't get an LRP here on Friday because it's cattle on feed day, and that's the new rule. So those guys get a Friday off there every month. But you got to look at these LRPs, guys. You pick your protection level, you pay your premium, you get help from the government to pay that premium, and then you relax. You don't have to pay these margin calls week after week after week when you get into a market like this. And I mean, the market showed some weakness this week, and guys were happy about it to try to get some of that margin back. Don't have to live that way, guys. For more information, go to livestockriskservices.com. Also, Unionville Livestock Market in north central Missouri, Creston Livestock Market in south central Iowa. You can find both of those auctions at DVAuction.com. Here on Tuesday, this Tuesday, early this next week, on September the 23rd, Unionville Livestock Market is going to be having a special bred cow and pair sale. They're going to have a few feeders, they'll have some weigh-ups, but they've got fancy cow-calf pairs and bred cows, guys. And the bred cows they got coming are heavy bred. There's going to be more pairs than there are bred cows today here, but they're coming fast. If you're interested in those, they'll be fancy. You can check them out there, and that's coming up on Tuesday of this next week. Talk about up at Creston Livestock Market. They got a regular sale here today on Friday, just weigh-ups and small packages or anything that shows up their feeders. But they've got a big all-vaccinated calf and yearling special there. Next week after next, it's actually going to be Wednesday, October the 1st. That's going to be a big special. I have over 2,000 there. Justin Peterson is bringing in 850 yearling heifers. They'll be good in quality, guys, weighing 7.5 to 900 pounds. Don't miss that sale at Creston Livestock Auction on Wednesday, October the 1st, and you can view and bid that sale there at dvauction.com also. Where were we? Well, we've had a wild week, topsy-turvy week. Had huge gains there on Monday, and never going to be another poor day. And then kind of a lull on Tuesday. Wednesday had sizable losses on your board. Of course, your cutouts on boxed beef have been down hard all week long, but it's seasonal losses. We see that this time of the year, and it got up there so high, it can just back off that much more at a time, and it's not any more percentage loss there. But we saw big losses. Guys were getting nervous on Wednesday. People were jumping out the window of second-story buildings, and they weren't getting killed. They were getting much worse, seriously injured. But, everybody was talking doomsday this, doomsday that. Packers thought they were going to steal cattle. They were just offering $232 in the north because they're all backed up with cattle, and offering $238 even down in the southern plains where they don't hardly have any cattle ready. But by the time we got to Thursday, we saw a moderate recovery there. Everything kind of shored up. Your fat cattle market went right back to steady with last week in the southern plains, with packers giving $240 in Kansas and Texas. Didn't quite get back up to steady in the northern plains, and they're going to be trading at a discount to the southern plains because they've just got that many more cattle that are market ready right now. So not going to quite get back up there, but a little bit softer in some of your feeder cattle auctions. But I mean, the guys are still coming after these cattle. We saw some new record highs on Thursday. You say, well, they can't just kind of record high after it. Yes, you can. When the cattle bring more than they've ever brought in an area, in a barn, for a certain class or type of cattle, you can have brand new record highs all the time, and we just keep seeing them, and saw them late this week, guys. We've got a cattle on feed report coming out, and you look at the estimates and you think, oh, that's kind of dreary. Got inventories for September the 1st at 99.1% of a year ago, even though we're scary short of cattle in the southern plains and a lot of cattle in the northern plains. Is there that many more cattle in the northern plains to offset how light of cattle we are in Kansas and Texas? Did they have room for that many more to make up the losses there? I don't know. We're going to find out. I mean, it won't be right, but it'll be official when it comes out. But we'll see it. Placements for August are set at 91% of a year ago, and marketing's at only 87.1% of a year ago. And one thing about a cattle on feed report that looks that dreary, there's lots of room for it to be bullish, guys. And so I look for a good chance to have a bullish cattle on feed report come out here on Friday at 2 o'clock Central, guys. Talk about a market that's having a big special on Saturday. It's Kingsville Livestock Auction in Kingsville, Missouri, west central Missouri. It's just a little ways south and east of Kansas City, not far off of I-70 there, guys. They are having a special bred cow and pair sale. They've got several breeding bulls that'll be sound and ready to use, be all tested and ready to go there too. It's 11 o'clock in the morning start time this Saturday, September the 20th. They're going to have over 1,350 head of replacement cattle there. And the quality in that area is outstanding. I mean, it'll be as good as you can find anywhere. It is going to be a huge sale. They've got several dispersals, including the Brown Farms dispersal. They've got 325 head. The DeLong dispersal is going to have over 200 head. They've got another 150 head of replacement quality heifers. It's just going to be a really outstanding sale. And you can view and bid that sale on DVAuction.com. Call them at the barn just a little bit before the sale there and make sure that you are approved where you can bid on those cattle. Let's talk about your board on Thursday. October live cattle futures up 127 at 230.237. December was up 147 at 234.15. Your back months on live cattle up 132 to 172 higher. Feeder cattle contracts for September up 315 at 358.17. October up 260 at 351.72. And your back months on feeder cattle up 247 to up 315. Nice gains there. How about your new crop December corn futures there? Up 1 3/4 cents a bushel at 425.5. New crop November soybeans up 4 cents a bushel at 1041.5. And hard red winter wheat for December up 1/2 cent a bushel at 510.5. Talk about your fat cattle trade. We did establish a fat cattle market on Thursday. Didn't trade a lot of cattle before the 2 o'clock deadline to get that reporting in, but we did establish a market. I'm sure there was more trade later in the day on Thursday, and I'm sure it'll follow suit on Friday. Whether it happens before the cattle on feed report comes out or after, I don't know. Iowa sold 2,500 confirmed on Thursday, 3,700 for the week. Live prices on Thursday in Iowa, 236 to 237. That's not all the way back up to steady, but it's within the range of last week, guys. And dress sales from 368 to 374. Nebraska sold 3,050 head on Thursday, just 3,100 for the week. Only prices they quoted on Thursday was 236 live and 370 dressed. Now Kansas sold 950 head on Thursday, 1,200 for the week. The live price in Kansas was only 240. That is fully steady with last week. They thought they'd get them bought at 238. Didn't happen. Dress price at 370 in Kansas. And Texas sold about 300 head is all they had confirmed. I heard that more traded that way later in the afternoon on Thursday. But 1,700 head for the week in Texas. And the live price on Friday in Texas was 240 also. Fat cattle auction, Kelowna sales barn there. That's in Kelowna, Iowa, and you can find them on DVAuction.com. They have really good feeder cattle sales and good fat cattle auction every week there. That's 600 head for the fed cattle sale. Market was steady to a buck lower about, but it wasn't terrible. Conventional fat steers and heifers at Kelowna Sales Barn sell from $240 to $248.75, and that's a premium to anywhere you can get that on a direct basis, guys. Box beef cutout values lower again on Thursday. They've been sharply lower this week. I mean, getting up to $15 losses so far for the week. But your choice cuts sold $237 lower at $385.81. Selects down $506 at $361.31. Your slaughter through the first 4 days of the week, your estimated cattle slaughter under federal inspection was 460,000. That's 1,000 more than last week, but 35,000 less than the same week a year ago. And they just keep slashing the slaughter. We have heavier carcasses. And that may be one reason why these cattle and feed inventories they think are going to be very near a year ago. Your actual slaughter information come back for the week ending September the 6th. Had your average dressed steer carcass weight at 958 pounds, 5 pounds bigger than just the report right before, 1 week before. And then we're getting scary close to that 960 pound all-time record on your average dressed steer weights, guys. Talk about what else is going on. Here at Feeder Flash, we like to celebrate the auctions. We're all about giving the auctions promotion, the auction market promotion. We're about true price discovery. We're about transparent markets there that the public can come in and view. We just like sale barns. We think that's the way to sell your cattle is at auction, guys. And we celebrate your sales. Every month we pick out a sale that is doing an unusually good job of selling their customers cattle and marketing cattle and just have a lot of stick out sales through the month and doing a really good job. And Buy Meata helps us do that. They are the sponsor of our Buy Meata Market of the Month. No suits, just boots with Buy Meata, guys. And the Market of the Month for this month is Flint Hills Stockyard in St. Mary's, Kansas. Now those guys, they're new owners there just recently here, but they are continuing the reputation of quality market there that the Rezak brothers had for so many years, and it's just been almost seamless. Them stepping in there, picking up for those customers that have been marketing at St. Mary's for so long, and they've had several stick out sales in the last month or so. Just doing a really good job. And you can find them at DVAuction.com every Tuesday there in St. Mary's, and they just do a good job, and congratulations to them. Let's talk about your feeder market there, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index based on an 800-pound cash auction steer after your Thursday sales had concluded sitting at 357.78. That was down 29 cents from Wednesday's close, so about steady in there. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index, it just doesn't go down, and I think it's hanging up there too high. It's at 362.62. Now you guys know that would be kind of a tough price to get in most markets for an 800-pound steer, but it's still sticking up. I don't think they're in enough markets. They're not covering enough sales, not getting enough cattle in there to make that thing true. But I'm not sure why it's hanging up there. Talk about your big sales on Thursday. Mitchell Livestock Marketing in Mitchell, South Dakota. My buddy Jared Herman there, he's up north doing a good job up there. Also owns Cherokee, Oklahoma. But they had a big sale in Mitchell on Thursday, 4,600 head. They haven't had a really good comparison to compare back to, but the market was active on Thursday. It was your superior steel sales stick out sale of the day. And you look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central, and you see your best tested weights are heavier, of course. They had 345 head of the 8-weight feeder steers in Mitchell. They averaged 839 at 355.17. They actually had about 900 head of 9-weight feeder steers. We had some duplicate because they had multi-load drafts and gave the buyers the option on there, and it kind of canceled those out. But about over 900 head of 9-weight feeder steers, average 959 at 330 and a quarter. Look at some heifers. 227 head of 7-weight feeder heifers, average 754 in Mitchell, South Dakota, with a weighted average price of $349.42. 587 head of the 8-weight feeder heifers, averaged $848 at $325.40, and there were 467 head of the 9-weight feeder heifers, averaged $944 at $319.35. The most impressive individual quote that I saw out of Mitchell, South Dakota was 63 steers, weighed 889, way up there in the weight group at 366. So good job for them. I'm going to give you several individual quotes from all over the country to show you how good this market still is. How about Mocan Livestock Market, and that's in Butler, Missouri, just right outside Butler, the Herzogs there. 134 steers, weighed 773, and bring 380 at the Mocan Livestock Market. How about up in Maryville, Missouri? Thursday was the first day that they had ever broadcasted on DVAuction, and they had a heck of a good sale there, guys. And they're all friends of mine, and I want to give them a shout out, the partner ownership there from Tom Runyon and James Hutchins. And those guys, I've been in the business literally all of their lives. They got connections from up in the Midwest down to the Mexican border, guys. They can absolutely do it. And then they've got guys commissioning cattle in there, including my buddy Mike Frieden and Daryl Sondrager. So get a hold of those guys. They bought that sale. It was shut plumb down. They're resurrecting it. That's a good place to have a sale in Northwest Missouri, and they're bringing it to you. Support them, guys. They had 55 steers in Maryville, Missouri, weighed 732, bring 397. And you can watch them every Thursday on DVAuction.com. How about a market way up north, Napoleon Livestock in Napoleon, North Dakota? I'm going to be there next Thursday for the big special that they're having. They're bringing me up there. I'm going to be kissing babies and shaking hands and slapping backs and meeting a whole bunch of Feeder Flash gang members up in that country, and looking forward to it there with the Bitzes. But 73 steers, weighed 797 at 386, almost just right at 800 pounds at 386 in Napoleon, North Dakota, guys. How about Bluegrass Stockyard South in Stanford, Kentucky? 67 steers, weighed 790 at 378.75. Let's go out to the Badlands, Belle Fourche, South Dakota. Belle Fourche Livestock Market. Get a hold of this one. 95 Pee-wee steer calves, weighed 415, bring 591. That's a big price coming out of Belle Fourche there, guys. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday, and your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Glasgow Stockyards in Glasgow, Montana. 56 steers, weighed 764, and bring 418. And that's your Feeder Flash for Friday.